A Prayer for Twilight People by Rabbi Reuben Zellman. As the sun sinks and the colours of the day turn, we offer a blessing for the twilight. For twilight is neither day nor night, but in between. We are all twilight people. We can never be fully labelled or divined. We are many identities and loves, many genders and none. We are in between roles, at the intersection of histories, or between place and place. We are crisscrossed paths of memory and destination, streaks of light swirled together. We are neither day nor night. We are both, neither, and all. May the sacred in-between suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, and widen our vision. May this in-between light illuminate our way to the God who transcends all categories and definition. May the in-between people who have come to pray be lifted up into this twilight. We cannot always define. We can always say a blessing. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. Amen. This time of Advent is a time of twilight. In more normal times, the gathering darkness of winter comes with the bright light of Christmas at its heart. This time round, there are so many restrictions and conditions on the normal festivities, and whether you view Christmas mainly as a time for contemplation or for consumption, you will have to cope with a degree of frustration and disappointment, for this is, for most of us, a comparatively melancholy Christmas. The entire world these days is in a twilight state as we approach the Christmas season, hovering between the horror of the virus and the hope of the vaccine. And while we wait in hope, we are all twilight people, seeking light in the darkness. Oh, shitbags. we would do well to remember that twilight is not the only in-between time in the rhythm of the seasons, or in the everlasting dance between day and night, between darkness and light. There is also the dawn, when the world wakes to each fresh day and its colours come alive again. And as we navigate this difficult road through darkness to the dawn, all this melancholy musing reminds me of Dover Beach, Matthew Arnold's elegant lament for the loss of the status and importance of religion in England in the middle of the 19th century. With his metaphor of a retreating tide bearing religious certainty away in its melancholy long withdrawing roar, leaving behind a depleted world that had neither joy nor love, nor light, nor certitude, nor peace, nor help for pain. Really? Perhaps I am too critical or too severe, or perhaps I have simply read and remembered too much history. For my impression is that the religion whose loss is lamented here was the religion of empire that was worn like a suit of armour and proclaimed around the world as divine evidence of cultural superiority. And even here at home in these islands, very few of the crumbs of either spiritual or physical nourishment made their way from the sumptuous altars and tables of the masters into the souls or the bellies of the servants and the peasants. I am not inclined to mourn this loss, for the only things we have lost are things that we never needed, that neither did us good nor made us good. All that we have lost is a rag bag of assumptions that served neither God nor human fellowship, but simply promoted the superiority of one class, caste, or creed over another. We have lost a mountain of dross, and we have gained a nugget of gold. We have gained a precious knowledge of ourselves and what it means to be human, and we are a better, gentler people for the simplicity and honesty of that knowledge. And that is where we will find God, in between the twilight and the dawn, breathing in each human heart and singing in each human soul, in the holy presence, flourishing in the fragile fellowship of fallible, vulnerable people doing their human best. What I feel welling up in me is neither regret nor resentment, but a stubborn streak of defiant optimism that questions Arnold's beautiful, tender melancholy and wonders if his words have actually missed the main point about the inevitability of the retreating tide. It comes back in. When the dark night of the soul is done, and the weary sands of disbelief have run, and the broken-hearted, haunted night has gone, comes the morning, comes the dawn. In the hiss of the dust and the roar of the dew, you will be there with us. We will be there with you. We shall see the tide of life returning, and we shall be together in God's morning. Those who die to fear and envy, those who die to hate and lies, they shall know the joy of plenty, they shall see the Spirit rise. They shall know the quiet splendour that blessed the earth in Galilee. They shall know the deep surrender that woke beneath the Buddhist tree. They shall see the tide of life returning. They will be together in God's morning.